Good evening and welcome back to Bedtime Stories with Neelu. How are you? Thank you so much for all your story responses on yesterday's story. Saima Guang breaks the vat. Yeah, and the message in the story is pay heed when someone is giving you an advice. Yeah, it may change your life. Those who miss this story can go back to my IGTV on Instagram and catch it anytime. Coming to today's story. Today's story is a folk tale from China. The title of the story is The Painted Eyebrow. I found it on googlebooks.co.in and my thoughts on the story. So there was a little girl named Shen Lian in China, in a town in China, and she was very pretty and she was very helpful, a pleasant girl, but the only thing was her beauty had a flaw. She had a scar crossing here on her eyebrow, and that bothered her a lot. And as she grew up, she stopped meeting people and she isolated herself from her friends, and she would sit in the garden and hum songs or avoid meeting people and avoid all the mirrors. So whenever she came across a mirror, she would cross, but she would not look at her face. And she looked at herself, and whenever she looked at herself, she felt that she was 3 or 4 times more ugly than what she actually is. So this scared her and she never looked at the mirror. So as time went by, there was a young man, yeah, he is Wu Tang, and Wu Tang happened to come there with his family, and he visited that garden. And he was moving around. China is full of gardens, so he was moving around, and he heard a song, and it attracted him. So he went towards that, and he saw a beautiful girl sitting there and humming a song. So he could see her only the good profile of Shen Lian, yeah, the one side of Shen Lian, and then he said, wow, what a pretty girl. And he climbed up the tree to find some nests, and he tried to peep and look at her even further. And then, as he looked, he fell off the tree, like, he was mesmerized by her beauty. So he went back to his parents and declared that now I'm going to marry this girl. She is so pretty. Her name is Shen Liang. And please organize for a matchmaker and proceed with this match. So their parents call for the matchmaker, and all negotiations happen for the marriage. And the matchmaker says that I need a minute with the groom. So he goes to the groom, that is Wu Tang, and tells him that there is a flaw in your bride. And before he could open his mouth further, Wu Tang says, please keep quiet, I don't want to hear anything about Shen Lia. She is going to be my bride and I love her, I'm madly in love with her, please don't tell me anything, go away. So to this, the man says, what can I do? So he leaves the place, and then there comes the wedding night. So there is a beautiful party. Everyone is happily moving around in their wedding clothes, and this all the finery, yeah. And then this girl, like, who's dressed up, Shen Liang, who's the bride, goes to her mother, and she gets very worried, and she says, Mother, I hope, he. The matchmaker told the groom about everything. So to this, the mother says, don't worry, I have told him everything. He must have spoken to the groom in person and in personally, and he must have told him. So she feels a little relieved, but there is, a discomfort in her heart which keeps telling her, what if he didn't tell him? So finally they get married, and they are left alone, the groom and the bride. And the groom comes and tries to he lifts the veil, yeah, of Shen Lia. And when he sees his bride, he is startled. So there is a scar on her face. So she says, good husband, I knew you didn't know about the truth. I had this feeling. When I was a child, I was playing in a garden. And while playing in the garden, a little boy threw a sharp stone. I'm sure he didn't intend to hurt me, but that sharp stone cut my eyebrow. And I started looking like this. That scar is there forever. Scar remained forever. So to this, the husband, Wu Tang, looks at her and he asks her, what is the name of the garden? Were you playing in Lee Gardens? So she says, yeah. So did you know the name of the little boy? To this, the girl, Shen Lia, says, no, I don't know the name of the boy. So were your parents there with you? She says, yes. So then she asks him, why are you asking so many questions? Have you been to Lee Gardens? He says, yes, of course. And the little boy who threw that stone on you was me, because my parents kept telling me that when I was a little child, I hurt a little girl with a stone, and that kept bothering me for a very long time. And here, destiny gets both of us together, and we are married, and I get an opportunity to correct my amend my mistake. Yeah, so correct my mistake. So he immediately calls for his writing brush and black ink, and he takes it out and he paints her eyebrow in such a way that both her eyebrows look the same. Yeah, no one could distinguish. Yeah, so one from the other, they looked the same. So, and she looked very, very pretty. And the husband and wife lived very, very happily, with the husband getting up every morning and painting his wife's brow. And he would make her feel so good. And that way, he would feel so relieved that he got an opportunity to correct his mistake as well. So, this is the story. Yeah, and they lived happily ever after. And I love this story because of that last part of it, where the husband, the way he reacted to it, instead of finding her ugly, he found a way to correct that. Yeah, so where is the mirror? Yeah, where is the mirror we have to look into here? Yeah, the mirror is within us, or no external mirror can save you from your ugliness. Yeah, the mirror within will always keep speaking to you. So the message in the story is, the mirror is within you. Yeah, the true mirror is within you. For me, that's the message. So while reading this story, I bumped into another small story. Yeah, on awaken.org, I think. Yeah, that was on Google itself. So I was just thinking, what does this true mirror mean to all of us? What does mirror mean to all of us? Imagine a world without mirrors. Yeah, we wouldn't know how we looked. Yeah, cavemen and all did they made paintings, and that's how they recognized each other. And later people looked into their reflection into clean water. Yeah, and that's how they recognized each other. Yeah, so now we have mirrors all over. Yeah, so there is a story where there was a house. The title of the story is The House of Thousand Mirrors. So there was a little dog which was crossing a house with thousand mirrors, and it went in, and it was a very happy dog. It quietly entered the door, and it looked around, and there were many mirrors, and it smiled. And the moment it smiled, it saw, many dogs smiling at him. So the dog felt very happy, and he came out, feeling so good. The dog said, "This is such a wonderful place, I'll come back again." Yeah, after seeing this dog, another dog saw him, and he said, "I'll also go." And this dog went in quietly and sneaked out of the door and just into the door, and saw himself. Like, the dog saw himself, and he got scared, and he started barking. So there were all the images in the mirror started barking back. So the dog came out and said, "Oh, this is such a horrible place. I will never ever go here again." Yeah, the same place, same mirrors. And what did the reflection say? It was about your inner state. Yeah. So whatever is there inside you is what you see in the mirror. That's what I truly believe in. Yeah, the mirror is within you. And the message in the story is, look inside you. That's where the true mirror lies. Thank you so much for your kind attention. So please leave your responses in the comment section. I will respond to all the comments related to the story. I'll see you here again only on Bedtime Stories with Neelu. Till then, take care, sleep well, dream big, wake up with a purpose and a good thought. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, good night.